Hi, it's Ed here. Just responding to Jason Durrant's post on the UK Astrophotography Facebook page. He's asked everybody to post a little video about what cameras they use. So hi Jason, keep up the good work. I hope everybody's safe and well in this time, because obviously we're all pretty much locked down, so that means we can't go anywhere to do any astrophotography apart from our back gardens if you've got one. So I live in London, just outside of London and just south, and it's a class 6 Bortle Sky, so it's pretty crap for any kind of astrophotography. But I will just show you what cameras I use. I'll start from probably the cheapest and we'll work our way up to expensive, and I'll quickly show you some lenses and stuff that I use as well. So probably the cheapest camera that I use for astrophotography, this. It's a little action camera. It's a Get 2. It does 16 megapixel images with a tiny little Sony sensor, but you can get some reasonably good night lapses from it. So that's that one. Probably the next cheapest will be this, which is an Olympus EPN2. It's a micro four thirds. This one's been astro modified. I've just got the kit lens, which is an 14 to 42 mil, and I have used some electrical tape to tape on a light pollution filter. This I generally power to do wide field stuff. I have an adapter that plugs into USB for the battery, and it lives in a little plastic box. I'll link a video to that below here somewhere, or maybe I might put it up there. But yeah, that's a cheap camera. It's not bad, micro four thirds, so 2 times crop factor on that. Next cheapest, and probably my oldest camera, is this. And this is just a standard Canon EOS 600D. I have an 8mm f3.5 lens. Again, not astro modified. I generally use this. Again, it spends most of its time outside at night. I power it from the mains with a battery adapter, and I generally wrap it in several plastic bags to keep it nice and dry. So that's that one. Right. GoPros. GoPro Hero 5. GoPro Hero 4. That one should have probably come first, but it didn't. DJI Osmo Action. And the GoPro Hero 8. I've left that one deliberately to last because out of all of the GoPros and action cameras that I have, that's probably the worst for astrophotography for any kind of night lapses, because you get little coloured dead pixels that appear on the screen only when you're doing night lapse. So yeah, don't know. Recent purchase, Nikon Coolpix P1000. For the moon, yeah, it's okay. And for maybe Jupiter and Saturn, probably not too bad. If you're on the tracking mount, you could probably get some decent stacks out of that. But any other kind of astrophotography with this, don't bother. It does have a mode which is for astrophotography, well, for night time lapse, it classes it as. It basically does 150 minutes and then compresses it into a video which is about 10 seconds long. And again, it's a tiny sensor, so probably the same size sensor that's in the GoPros, and it doesn't do a very good job at that. But for the moon, yes, it's brilliant. 3000mm lens. What else do I use? Right, this beast, Sony A7R. It's the original Mark 1 Sony A7R on a Sigma 300mm f2.8. I usually stop this down to f4. I have a little tray which you can fit a light pollution filter in. So there is a light pollution filter in there as well, which is in the image train. I use that for things like the Orion Nebula. If I ever get to a proper dark sky location before it disappears, I'm going to try and do some galaxies, Andromeda, something like that. Next big beast, the most expensive camera I own, is this, which is the Sony A7S 2 on a 600mm Tamron 150-600mm f6.3 at the long end on this. Again, that's great for doing stuff on the Orion Nebula, things like that, or any kind of galaxies. Because of the sensor in the A7S2, you do manage to get some quite short exposures, which is good. And I generally use it on this thing behind me here, which is a Celestron Sky Prodigy mount. So it's got the built-in star sense. It's an alt-as mount. Short exposures and then stacking, it does a reasonably good job. So that's that. I have another 600mm lens here, which is the Canon. It's still a Tamron, but it's for the Canon. So I do have that option as well. Other lenses that I do generally use: wide field Samyang f2.8 14mm. That's a really good lens. Buy one. This one is another old lens. It's a Vivitar 135mm f2.8. I use that with an adapter to go onto one of the Sonys. It's pretty good. An 85mm f1.8. That's f2.8. That's f1.8, and this is 85mm. Again, it's an adapter to use it on. It's a full frame lens, so I can use it on the Sonys, which is good. Old lens. This is a Canon FD 200mm f2.8. Again, stick that onto one of the Sonys, or I have got an adapter to use on the other Canon as well. But 200mm f2.8. 50mm. Sony 1.8 50mm lens, and an old Canon FD 1.4 f1.4 50mm lens. Need to get another adapter because for some reason it doesn't focus to infinity, but it does have a nice big, got the lens cap as well, a nice big front element on that, so that should pull in a lot of light, which will be great. So yeah, they're my cameras and lenses that I generally use. I do have other lenses knocking around somewhere. I've got a 35mm f1.7, I think it is, and also I got a 6.5mm fisheye for the Sonys, which is something silly like f1.7 as well, because it's got a big front element. But it's a circular fisheye, so you do get a big black ring around everything. Yeah, so that's about what I use. Intervalometers I use on all the cameras. I do have a Celestron CG5 EQ mount. The problem where I live is, because I live to the south of London, to the north there's a lot of light pollution, so I generally can't really see Polaris. It makes it a bit awkward to polar align. But I do have one of the polar alignment cameras, and I have used it once, but generally there's always cloud. So anyway, yeah, so they're all my lenses. I will post a link to some of my videos that I've used these cameras for in the description, and I'll post a link to Jason's channel and also to Chris's channel from DIY Astro and the Facebook pages. Well, I hope you all keep safe and enjoy the dark skies if you get any. A couple of things I forgot to mention. Other cameras that I use are these Logitech Brio 4K webcams, so I'll quite often attach those to a telescope, such as this beast, which is a Celestron 130. It's a 2000mm f15 scope. And I've got the star sense on that to use with the CG5. And also generally might use this Sky Prodigy 90 with one of these little budget ELP 8MP webcams, again for the moon. Whack that on a Sky Prodigy mount. It's not actually too bad. So yeah, I thought I'd mention those. And I just thought I'd mention some cameras that I would like. I want Sony to bring out the A7S III pretty damn quick because I really want that. Hopefully being delivered today is the Insta360-1R, and I've got the 1-inch sensor model coming. So that should be brilliant for astrophotography, or for night lapses and things like that. I just thought I'd mention those bits. Anyway,